Hi there folks, welcome to Dunzy's Guitar World. Well, what can I say? 5,000 subscribers, man, holy smokes. Completely blown away. I made a comment on a video the other day there, one of my recent videos, where I said I checked back a few years ago and I had a video from 2019 where I was thanking my 49 subscribers. It's just grown and grown and grown. Grown, G-R-O-A-N, is grown and grown, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I don't do anything particularly popular, you know. I'm not showing you people how to play like Iron Maiden songs or Metallica songs, you know. Like the video that was going out, or the video that's just come out, was like a new wave of British heavy metal song from 1982 that probably about, you know, 300 people have heard in their whole life. So I'm not doing anything popular, but for some reason I managed to get 5,000 subscribers, man. So thank you, honestly, man. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So let's go on with it, Dunsey. Let's go on with it. Question 1: if you could go back in time and see any band or go to any concert or festival, what would you go to? The sensational Alex Harvey Band. Now, a lot of my viewers saw the sensational Alex Harvey Band, and I'm a wee bit jealous, if I'm being honest. So I would love to go back and watch the magic of Sab live. I'd love to see Hendrix as well, you know, going back to whatever, 69 or something like that. What did they say, 69? Go back to 69, see Hendrix or something. See Zeppelin at the peak. Zeppelin at their peak. I went to that gig at the O2, when was that, 2006 or something? I was at that and it was absolutely unbelievable. You know, when they came on, I had hairs standing up in the back of my neck, but it wasn't Zeppelin with John Bonham, but it was good. So I'd like to go back, see sensational Alex Harvey Band, Hendrix and Zeppelin at their peak. Next question. I'm going to ramble, this might go on for maybe 2 videos. Next, second question. This is from Stephen, a fellow Scot. For guitars with trems, backplate on or off? And guitars with trems, I only own. Do I own a guitar with a trem? I don't know. But a force of habit, whenever I do own a guitar which has a trem, and my friend John in Michigan will confirm that I'm not a Strat guy, but whenever I do have a Strat, the force of habit I have is just to lose the backplate. So I never ever have the backplate on a guitar which requires a backplate because of a tremolo system. Force of habit. It's a 3-part question, 3-parter. Les Pauls, pick guards on or off? On. Always on, thank you. Last one, controversial here. Tonewood, true or false? I don't know. I don't know. I guess there's probably scientific tests you can set up, and you'll be able to tell, you know, to the nth, to the minutest detail that a certain type of wood is better for guitar tone. I'm talking electric guitar tone. I don't know much about acoustics, but electric guitar tone, maybe there's a slight difference. But what I find, like when you step into a practice room or you step onto a stage and you've got like Marshall amps or loud amps, if drummer Dave's in the band, you've got a loud drummer. If you're doing that, then, you know, you could be playing with a balsa wood guitar, you never notice any difference. You just need to get loud. So Tonewood, I don't know. I'm not convinced, but I'm not convinced, if that makes any sense. There would be people who make arguments that one's better than the other, and then they'll show some sort of scientific experiment. Who was that guy who, American chap who makes brilliant videos? He started cutting a guitar down and measured the sort of resonant frequency and stuff like that, and then ended up with the strings just attached to like a workbench, just playing slide, and there wasn't any difference. So yeah, I don't know. Next question. Do I plan any Backyard Babies, Early Helicopters? I love both those bands, but I think these are bands that came along when I was a bit older. You know, when you're an older chap, you tend to focus on the things you heard when you were sort of 14 to like 18 or something like that. So I really do like both those bands. I've seen them both live. The Helicopters, I'd love to do A Hopeless Case of a Kid in Denial. One of my favourite songs of all time. I absolutely love that. I'm not familiar enough with their sort of catalogue to go in and pick a song that I think I could play with. I mean, I should do, because I like both bands. So do I have any plans? I don't have any immediate plans to do it, but because you've mentioned that, I might go and listen to A Hopeless Case of a Kid in Denial, see if I can do that. Next question. Do you have that one specific song you said at the start, one day I'm going to be that good and I'm going to play that? If so, how realistic was yours and how's it going? Well, I'll tell you a few things. Like when I first heard, I thought I would love to play that. The solo in Professional Violence. Can I play it now? How long is it? 40 odd years later, can I play it now? I can play bits of it. If I get to 10,000 subscribers, I might learn it properly and do a full lesson. But that's one of these things that was like, I don't know if I want to do it because I love it so much that I don't want to make an arse of it. You know, I don't want to be hacking my way through one of my favourite, you know, Paul Chapman guitar solos of all time. So I don't know about that. And on that note, Only You Can Rock Me, the solo in Only You Can Rock Me, that was the thing that you heard and you thought, who's playing that? Michael Schenker, man, that's so good. Can I play that? I can play the first half of it reasonably well. I could play it on my, hold on a second, I could play it on my Michael Schenker Flying V. I won't do it at this particular moment in time, but I could maybe have a go on that. So put this back. So that probably shows you how important UFO were to me when I first started playing, you know, whether it be Mike or Paul. So I'd like to be able to play the whole of the solo in Professional Violence and Only You Can Rock Me and do it justice, play them like note perfect, which I can't do at this point in time. And here's another thing I distinctly remember. I mean, I'm doing a few Quo songs recently. I remember the first time I learned how to do the Caroline 12 bar thing, and I think I learned it from, of all places, I was listening to a Ted Nugent bootleg, from Saginaw 1980 or something like that, and that cassette was playing, and I was just sitting summing my guitar in my mum and dad's, and I put my pinky down on the wrong fret, and I was like, fuck, 12 bar, and I kept doing it, and I was like, holy shit, sorry for the language, holy shit, I can play Status Quo. And I distinctly remember this, it was a Saturday morning. My bedroom was upstairs in my mum and dad's, and the telephone was downstairs. This was in the day when you had like, your telephone was shared with the council house next door, you know, like with a phone between two houses, a party line, as it was known. I never remember any parties, but anyway. So straight downstairs, phoned my mate Deck, who just lived up the road. He was a year older than me, so he was maybe a year ahead of us, but none of the two of us could work out how to play 12 bar Caroline. Phone Deck, I can play Quo. And he was like, no way, man, no way you can play that. And I was like, I can. And I had my Trainer TS50, that I went back upstairs, pulled out my bedroom, put it on the top of the stairs. So I'm way down the bottom of the stairs, and I had my guitar in my hand with the lead. And I was like, listen to this. What do you think of that? And he was like, oh, you have to come up and show me that. And he stayed, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, walk up the road, straight up to his house, after I put the phone down and unplugged my amp and that, straight up to his house, and then we both just sat and played. I didn't mean anything by that, we both just sat playing guitar for like, 3 hours, just playing a 12 bar chord. It was like, man, it was the greatest thing that had ever happened to us at that point in time. There you go. Next question. I watch your videos for a peek into Dunzy's guitar world, even though the music and guitars aren't what I am normally into. Are there any other styles you're into that you don't feature on here? Any guilty pleasures? I'll tell you what my guilty pleasures. I quite like that alcoholic Iron Brew. That's nice and sweet. That's my guilty pleasure. Music wise, my favourite thing in terms of singing is female voices. I'm a massive fan of female voices. I was thinking this the other day, who's my favourite male singer? And I thought, Phil Mogg. This is going back to how much UFO. And I thought, Phil Mogg is probably my favourite male singer, just through a career of just brilliant songs. And he's not the world's best singer, but everything he has done has fitted everything that UFO were doing at that point in time. And he's melodically, lyrically, my favourite male singer. But back to the point here, my favourite thing to listen to is girl singers. It must have been about 10 years ago or something like that. I found 3 bands, June Divided, Darling Parade, and a solo singer-songwriter called Darcy Minor. And those 3 things I have listened to most out of anything in the last 10 years. I'll put links below. I think Darling Parade have split up. I've got a Darling Parade t-shirt that I sometimes wear in videos, but I bought all of these 3 bands. Well, Darcy's like a solo sort of outfit. I bought the whole back catalogue, and that's what I listen to. Like if I'm just going to put some music on and it's not heavy metal, that's the kind of stuff I listen to, you know, like if I'm not playing guitar. Next question. Do you have to do much planning, or is there just loads of music stuff going on in your life all times? There is always music stuff going on in my life at all times. Today, this is Monday, I'm filming this. Today, I've just finished filming and recording a new Wave of British Heavy Metal cover. I'm narrating doing this one today, and another 2 videos I'm doing today. Tuesdays, I tend to edit the videos, and also have band practice tonight from 7 till 10, and I have band practice tomorrow night from 9 to 11. I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I've got a gig on Friday night. I am always doing guitar stuff. I am unbelievably lucky, and then my wife, who we've been together like 25 years, my wife is fully supportive of what I do in music. You know, I was doing music before I met her. Some people give up the dream. Am I saying the dream? You know, I'm not living the dream. I'm still enjoying playing guitar. You know, there's people the same age as me. I'm still friends with school who maybe took up golf or something like that. They still play golf. They still enjoy it as much as they did when they were 16, but they're never going to be the world golfing champion. You know, people aren't going to be the world surfing champion at 57 years old, but they still do it. So I have been incredibly lucky. My life has always been filled with music. I've always played in bands. I've always done gigs. My first gig was 40 years ago in October, and I've done gigs every year since then. So I'm always doing music stuff, and I'm lucky that my wife supports me in that. Now, a rambling answer there. Next question. How about some of your top 5 or top 10 whatever? That's a good idea. They probably turn into like top 100s. You know how somebody will say, what's your favourite guitar riff of all time? And you'll go, Unchained by Van Halen. And you think, well, that's this week. Although that is my favourite guitar riff of all time and has been since I first heard it. So yes, I maybe do top 5, top 10 of different stuff. I don't know, that's a good idea. I'll note that down. Well, I've copied it into a notepad document here. Next question. Is there any guitar you've sold that you really regret? Loads, probably loads. I think maybe the worst thing I did was I had a 1969 Gibson SG Special, same as Pete Townsend's, and Chickweed, the band I was in at the time. This is another rambling story, so you know, like fast forward to the next question. We were down in London. We had I think we were down in London about 5 times in the space of like about 5 weeks. We were doing quite well. We had a Radio 1 single of the week. You know, don't want to be radio name dropping here. We had a Radio 1 single of the week, so we're always down in London doing stuff. And we were running short of money for doing it. And I took my 69 Gibson SG Special down. We're down for the weekend, and I took it to a shop in Denmark Street, and I said, look, I need to sell this. Could you put it on show? And they were like, yeah, I'll put it on show for you. I says, I'm only down in London for like 72 hours, maybe it was 4 days or something. And you could see them going, oh yeah, cool. We'll try and sell it for you. We'll take 10% commission. I can't even remember what they were asking for it. Let's just say £800. This is 1997. So it's a 69 SG Special. And so we were down, we did our gigs, and then I went back to the shop on the Monday, and surprise, they hadn't sold it, because I told them I was needing the cash. So they said, no, I didn't sell it, but we'll buy it off you. And I was like, oh no. Now we did need the money. I think we needed the money for petrol to get back home, get back from London to Edinburgh. And I sold it for 350 quid, or maybe even 325 quid or something. Lunacy, craziness. So I wish I still had that. Do I regret it? No, I had to do something at the time that would get us back home. I wish I had my 76 Gibson Firebird, bicentenary Firebird. I wish I had that, but I probably sold that because it was too big. I'm just a wee guy, and I'm getting wider and wider every day. Firebird was too big, but I wish I still had it. So do I regret selling anything? I wish I hadn't had to sell stuff, but I don't know if I regret it. What's your favourite non-Gibson guitar? I think it would be one of my Grecos, I think. I've had a few different Japanese brands, Grecos and Burnies and stuff like that, and I don't know what it is. I've always liked the Greco ones. I mean, I've probably owned about 20, and I'm down to maybe 5 or 6, so I've just kept the best ones. But the Greco EGF 850s from the early 80s are just fantastic guitars. So, two-part question. Top 3 new wave of British heavy metal bands. Now, I don't want to mention the huge bands like Saxon and stuff like that. Now, Diamond Head are they huge? They're maybe sort of mid-table. Diamond Head. When you first heard Brian Tatler grinding out those riffs, and then you saw a video on his White V, it was like brilliant. And the hair, it was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to be heavy metal like Brian Tatler. So Diamond Head. This could be like a top 100, but I'll try and keep it to 3. If you ask me next week, it'll be 3 different ones. So Diamond Head. Now I'll go to 2 other bands who are not as famous as Diamond Head. Hellenbach. Man, the Hellenbach. The guitar playing of Dave Patton. Unbelievable. They said it was like a northeast Van Halen, and it's just, he's such a good guitar player. So good I bought the t-shirt, and I've got the albums, and I got the CD as well. So Hellenbach, huge fan. I would love to do a Hellenbach lesson or cover, but I can't play like Dave Patton. He's just so good. So I love Hellenbach. And the other band that, when you maybe heard of Hellenbach, but the other band that I absolutely love since hearing their Friday Rock Show session, probably May 1982, Chinatown. Oh man, Chinatown was so good as well. They did one album, like a live, it was recorded live, but kind of pretend studio. It was on Airship Records. But the Friday Rock Show session, those 4 songs, I still play that, and I'm immediately transported back to my mum and dad's house in West Lothian in Scotland, you know, which is the back of beyond. I'm transported back to my bedroom at mum and dad's, 16 years old, listening to that going, man, heavy metal is so good. I love heavy metal. That's what I was thinking then. That's what I'm thinking now. Diamond Head, Hellenbach, Chinatown. Thank you very much for, for the questions, especially if you're someone with a YouTube channel. All the links will be down below. Thank you for everybody who watches my videos, and thank you for everybody who's subscribed and got me to 5,000. We live in crazy times, folks. We live in crazy times. As ever, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunzy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.